Warning, the driving situations and stories in this video are for entertainment purposes only. In no way should this be taken as driving advice.
On today's show, we'll talk about blind spots. Also, what do I do on my commute besides the obvious, of course? We'll find out. Stick around. You're on the 405. So you may have discovered that I have a pretty long commute. My commute is about 45 minutes to an hour each way, and over every work day for the last 5 years, that adds up to an awful lot of time. And so this is normally time that I would consider wasted time, and I think most people consider their drive time wasted. But it occurred to me a long time ago that this is actually really valuable time. And if it weren't for this commute, I probably wouldn't find time to do some of the things that I do during my commute, such as listening to audiobooks and school lectures. And I actually took a full real estate course in my car just by listening to lectures and things like that. I've studied everything from economics to the Bible. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a Christian, so reading my Bible is a very important thing and something that I haven't always found the time to do, but now I've got time, where I can listen, and I consider it reading, although it's not technically reading. So I do that. And of course, recently I decided that I wanted to do a YouTube show and didn't have any free time except for when I was driving. So thus was born the 405 show. But I'm the type of person who always wants to learn something. I consider myself sort of a Johnny Five in that respect. Johnny Five, input, more input, no disassemble. Remember that guy? If you don't remember that guy, then I guess I'm just getting too old. But I'd like to know what you guys spend your commute time doing. Do you just listen to music and veg out? Do you listen to audiobooks, podcasts, or what? Or do you just spend time raging against the traffic? So let me know down in the comments and we'll talk about that. When I'm driving, especially if I'm driving along with the traffic about the same speed as the rest of the traffic, I try to be aware of my surroundings and always know what's going on around me. In the military, they would call that situational awareness. And it's a good idea to always know, what cars are around you, but not only that, what the cars around you know. What I mean by that is, if I'm in a car's blind spot, for instance, this BMW was in that white van's blind spot right there. The van was just riding along, didn't see him at first glance, and of course started to change lanes and almost hit him. So it's always a good idea to be aware when you're in someone's blind spot. For instance, this silver Mercedes next to me, the station wagon, I'm pretty much in his blind spot. If he just glances over, he's not going to see me right away unless he actually turns and looks back. So it's not that I always try to avoid being in someone's blind spot, but when I'm in someone's blind spot, I always kind of take note of that and just to be aware of that. So this is interesting. Car I considered getting right in front of me. Car I used to have in front of that. Car I currently have right here, which I am inside of. I am in the car I have. That's weird. It's like Inception. See, when I made that lane change, I had to be careful because as I was moving into this lane, I was in the blind spot of that truck that's now getting behind me. And they were wanting to get over into the same lane from the other side. And so I had to be real careful because a lot of times, especially if you're in their blind spot, they're going to want to get over, and they'll just go over even though you're getting over, and even though you're signaling and they're not, which for me is usually the case because almost nobody signals around here, but I do. What is this guy doing? Whoa, dude, really? I don't think he knows what he's doing. I've been using my paddle shifters lately, which I haven't used much because they take a little getting used to. But once I started using them, I realized they're actually pretty cool. And a lot of people make fun of these kind of paddle shifters because all it's doing is really telling the automatic transmission when to shift. It's not the same as paddle shifters you get on like Lamborghinis and things like that, which actually have more of a mechanical shift when you use the paddle. But what I like about these is that, first of all, I talked before about why I like having an automatic. So I still get that. I can anticipate the gear that I'm going to be in and actually downshift right before I gun it. So the transmission's already going to be in that gear that it needs to be in, or vice versa, before I do it. It's like kind of having an automatic transmission that can anticipate what you're about to do, whereas the regular automatic transmission can only react to what you have done. Well, that's my exit coming up. You know what that means. I'm out of time. Thanks for riding along with me today on the 405. I hope you enjoyed the ride. If you did, click that like button down below. If you have any questions or feedback or any comments, please leave those down in the comment section, and I will see you next time on the 405.